the guy we had got so good at reading that stuff, that same guy that asked me if we slanted this guy all the time, he said, boy, y'all sure knew when to blitz that will linebacker. And I told him, I said, we never ever called a blitz, never. He goes, Coach, you had to, because he was, I said, that's a read, you know. What's that guy's name?
The head coach?
Yeah.
Wallen?
Wally, it was him. We were talking at a track meeting, and he said he was just wanting to know. He said, "What keys were y'all giving us where you knew when to slant that guy and when to blitz that weak side back? I mean, all that deal." And I said, "There isn't a blitz. This is keys." And so he is coming hard, and he's going to take the first threat. We don't tell him you're going to take quarterback, you're going to take, you know, that kind of deal. We say first threat, second threat, pitch, or whatever. So he's going to take whatever shows in that hole, and he's going to try to blow it up. All right? So that tells him he's taking him on. He's going to keep his outside arm free. He's locked out, and he's working right there. He's not going to give ground because we don't want that hole to widen. So he's trying to hold on, but he's also in a position where we think he can come off that thing, and hopefully make the quarterback pitch. If we were getting a lot of this, and what do they zone on the backside?
Yeah.
They zone, and we're getting a lot of that. Then Mike, he's going to be over the top that thing. Now he's going to be quarters, cover four, and he's coming to a point. We're not going to just go take that pitch. He's coming to a point, and he's going to sit down, and we're going to make the quarterback pitch the ball. We're not going to come up and run past, and this
So
guy
he's not
can't
going to
get-
just run the pitch and let the quarterback go?
Not unless, I mean, we come up there and we start slow playing that thing, and we're going to make it pitch. We want to make it bounce wide. We feel like he clicks and bail, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But he's coming off, and he knows force, spill, comes back to that same deal. Free safety's coming down here, cut back, and he's coming in an area where, you know, if that thing bends back, and there's that safe six. It's that diamond on the ball again. And that's, option is what made me come up with this idea, is because of everybody has to have a place. You know, they have to they have to fit in that particular place. And so that was diamond on the ball. And that's how we would play the weak side veer.
Okay.
The first year, when Michael and all those guys were sophomores, we scrimmaged El Dorado. And, you know, back then, I don't know what they do now, but back then, they had a big old stout looking fullback and a pretty good tailback, and a lot of their stuff was lead, ISO lead, you know. And we were scrimmaging them, and, you know, we didn't know each other from Adam really. And I'm kind of standing back there, and we were lined up in strong, because in that scrimmage, that's all we showed, because we didn't want to show cheat. We were opening up with El Paso Bel Air, which was a wing T team, and that's what that's made for. And so so we were in strong. Anyway, this coach ran back there to that head coach, whatever his name is, and he said, "Coach, it's about time we run that lead. You know, let's run over that linebacker." And in a minute, I heard him come back, and he said, "Okay, here we go." I didn't say a word. I didn't say, "Michael, you better protect your life, son. You know, you better." And he read it. He come through there and just wham! I mean, one thing about him, Mike, he was a tough son of a gun, boy. And he hit that guard so hard right in the hole, because they were laughing, saying, "Well, we need to knock that middle linebacker, you know, turn him upside down with that fullback." Well, he hit him, and they squeezed it, and there was no gain. And boy, that fullback went back to the huddle, and then a little bit they ran it again. Wham! He went back to the huddle. After about the fourth or fifth time they were running that thing, that fullback's running in there, you know, but it's because of those reads and just being tough, you know, and teaching them, my golly, if that thing opens, whoa, I mean, go fast, play fast, that's that deal, play fast. So, that's how all that kind of fits in.
Just while we're on the two-back stuff, how do you adjust a two-back slot?
Okay. One of two ways. If I was,
Okay. Can we go from the opposite door? Oh.
like that, what you're talking about?
Yeah, or like regular
Or
slot.
just
yeah.
twins.
Mhm.
And this is one thing that, you know, I really like about this front. Now, let's say this one, we want to line strength up to the tight end. So we would be like this. Now, our secondary, we haven't gone on secondary yet, but the only time we roll the only time we roll is weak, because we're already overshifted. So the secondary rolls. Now, if we call strength over here, our raider, he knows there's two over here, so he's about, let's say his call for this game was what we call cut two. He's gonna roll up to an outside position.
So this is cheat.
This is cheap. So it's gonna end up looking like this. And what that means, and I'll go over it to detail here in a minute, but cut simply means we're cutting him out of the equation, and we're gonna go man to man. And we would only run this if we felt like this guy could handle that guy. We would not run this if he was a lot better than that guy. But anyway, let's say we did. And now we're rolling.
But you would only do this to this set.
Yeah, we only roll this secondary weak, never strong, never. So here, now, we've cut him out of the equation, so now he becomes the number one receiver, and something out of the backfield is number two. So our raider now becomes like a corner, and he's gonna catch one, and we'll talk about cover two in a minute. He's gonna catch one, and then he's looking for two, you know. And free safety knows that we're playing cover two over this thing. We're not messed with this. He's gonna man up over here. This bandit's got anything out this side. So that's one way we would line up. If we wanted to, we could call strength to the two receiver side. So we could line up this way.
So that's what you do if you felt your corner couldn't cover.
That's
that
exactly,
receiver.
we'd do that, or we have another way to cover this. You know, another call we'd make. But more than likely, let me get Coach and little Joey off this field here. Whatever his name was, I don't remember. Let's say, we want to call strength this way. So now we're gonna line up like this.
Still cheat.
We're still cheat.
Because cheat's what you like in two-back.
Right. That's what we're gonna do.
Where is that? What's the R again? The Raider? Where's
Raider,
he?
he's our weak side safety.
No, but what's his alignment exactly?
He is gonna play exactly, he's gonna play about 2 yards outside, and he's on the line of scrimmage. And we're gonna make, over here, and this goes back to option, over here, we're gonna make a queen call. And it only affects, it affects these three guys. This Raider's gonna come up, he's gonna say, queen, queen, queen. He's talking to him and he's talking to that corner. Queen tells him that we're keying this tight end now. If the tight end released, then corner is gonna take him. If tight end releases, that tells him he has the quarterback and he has pitch, all right? So that would be queen. If the tight end blocked, then he's gonna play it just like the bandit and the stud and those guys play. If he blocks down, he's shuffling down and he's gonna set. He's holding C-gap. He now becomes a D-gap player because tight end block. He sets, and now if it's option, so now he takes quarterback and he takes pitch. And it's all over that call.
So if the tight end releases and the Rovers got quarterback,
Right, no.
or pitch,
If the tight end releases, this corner basically is gonna take that tight end man to man. Okay? So if he releases, he's got it. But if he releases, the end knows he didn't get blocked. Raider knows he didn't get blocked. So that tells the end, that tight end didn't block me, so I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna take C-gap, but I'm looking for quarterback. And immediately, when he releases, that tells the Raider he's setting, and if it's option to him, then he's gonna slow play that option and take pitch. So he would be going pitch, he's got the QB, he's got pitch. Not Rich, pitch. So, and then, like I say, the opposite of that is, now, if he blocks, I'm just holding my gap. I'm a C-gap player. Now, I shuffle down, I close that gap so the quarterback can't duck up in it. I close that gap. Right now, I know if threat comes, I'm gonna take the first threat that comes to me. Which, if they're running, you know, that option, veer option, then it's gonna be quarterback. So you take quarterback, he blocks, so now I'm coming. He's coming across because he knows, you know, everything went that way. Once he knows it's not pass, and then he would kind of become our extra guy, but that's the idea behind that.
and what's the coverage on this side?
Over here, we could play cover 2. If this thing was pretty wide, we're gonna get him inside. We could play cover 2 with it. We could play quarters, what we call cover 4. We'd nearly put him right on top of him, and he's there just to bang him. He's gonna click and bail. He's playing an inside quarter, he's playing an outside quarter. He's gonna bang him and then set, and if something shows flat, he's taking flat. So there's 2 ways we could play that as cover 2, you know, or we could play it cover 4. If it's cover 2, he knows that he is the pitch. He knows that he's gonna take first threat, probably be dive. He knows he's gonna take quarterback, and here we get this read. He reads this guy. If this guy came up and blocked him, then he's filling off of him. And now he's gonna take him on and ripping, we're gonna pull and rip. Probably if it's very close, then he's gonna rip and be outside, but he's gonna take the pitch.
Coach, how do you determine the strength, if you're gonna call it,
Well, that again goes back to
game
game plan.
plan?
Let me give you an example. Well, Aaron kind of answered it. If we felt like this was more of their game, this kind of goes back to the old 4-3 days, most people got in twins when people were in a 4-3, this type of deal. Because they wanted to see, what are you gonna do with that wheel? Are you gonna bring that wheel out and keep your secondary intact and keep a corner and a safety and a safety in the corner? Well, if you do that, then what are they about to do? They're gonna run the lead. And that's when, back in that day, we used to make, if it got to a problem, we'd make an under call. We'd get him pretty tight, if that guy came after him, he was gonna get under, and he was gonna try to fill and try to get over the top. You know, that's where, the twins formation really became a big deal when everybody's in that old 4-3 front. Because they wanted to see what you're gonna do. Are you gonna roll your secondary to it? If you do, then maybe we have more strength to the tight end side. If you don't roll and you pull out that will linebacker, then you're giving up a gap. So, you know, so by playing cheat, we could call strength to the tight. If we felt like their tight end, this side we were more concerned about this than this, and we're gonna call, our game plan is, we're gonna call cheat to this way. Now, during the game, we've done this and we say, hey, boy, they are wearing us out over here for whatever reason, you know. Then let's put our best guy. Let's put him over there and let's go to war with him now. So we call strength over there.
Okay.
And roll that other safety up, which becomes, you know, it kind of the same deal, so.
So
that's
basically it would be just, if it's two receiver side, we're checking it over there, game planning wise.
right. It all went down to game plan. What they had shown, see, we used to create, this is just permanent, you know, we used to create what we call the book. Every film that we had, we broke it down to the minute detail, and we went into this book, and every play, let's say this was the 9th game of the year, every game, every time, let's say they were on the 28-yard line, the minus 28-yard line on the right hash, then in all those films, every play that they had run from the 28-yard line on the right hash was written down here, and then on that was from what they had done, what would probably be the best defense to run. It was okay until formations, really, you know, until the game just exploded out, you know, and but that was one way to do that. So, you know, I'm not very smart. I'm not smart enough for every play when Aaron's running offense. I'm not smart enough to say, okay, man, what do we want to run now? Let's say we haven't done it, just pull one out of the air. To me, that's just crapshoot, and I think the house is going to win.
No.
You know, so my thinking, my idea was, let's put the best front and the best secondary against that formation, because we've seen them do this, this, and this out of that formation, and then predominantly that's why they're in that formation. And so let's line up to stop this, this, and this, or at least slow it up. Instead of me sitting there, oh man, what? I better make a good call. What? I can't do that. I mean,
Right.
and I know there's people that can, and I know there's probably ways you can do that, but that just wasn't what fit us. And so I said, I want to be sound. I want to put our kids in the best possible position to win, to be successful. And so I think lining up this way against that formation is the best way that we can be successful and play this thing. Now, we may have to adjust, you know, and we did. We did that a lot. We had to against Aaron in 11. He was running those two tights, what I call ace, two tights and two wides, and those two great running back there. And I thought if we was on the hash, that we could hold up by playing cheat to the field. Well, where'd you run? Weak. He ran weak. We didn't hold up real well. So then we had to, by halftime, we went back, and Elliott, he scored more points than anybody in the state that year, 35, right? And so we had to change, and we went to something else, but something that we knew, and something that we practiced, and something that we could handle. So he balanced the offensive up, but we were unbalanced, so he was running weak. So we had to balance up, and then it wasn't quite as effective, but those backs just made a lot of plays, you know, I mean, they were good. And so that's the thinking of that.
And so this queen call, this is just for the Raider safety.
That's only to that side. Again, why we flip is, I think it cuts down on a bunch of teaching. Our free safety never rolls up, never. He's the guy that back in the field does what he does best. Our guy had, I think, 13 interceptions in 2011. In the whole back end, we had 27. So I want him back there. So that's why we find that weak side safety, that Raider. That's why we wanted him in a position that he's a little bit more physical guy, a little tougher guy, but that's what he practices. He practices it over and over and over and over.
I know we're gonna get to coverage later, Coach, but in you guys' like individual time, did you guys have a coach just for the safeties, a coach just for the corners? Did you have just a secondary coach?
Well,
And then within that,
like I said, the worst part of our football team was our corners, and I should have fired the corners coach. But then I wouldn't have had a paycheck. So I couldn't do that. So I had the secondary, and I had another guy that helped me. If we were working corner drills, then he was over working safety drills. And then or if on one side we had a corner safety and I was working this side, and he'd have the corner safety and he'd be working that, and we'd get as many reps as we could. And he did a good job. So that's how we handle it. Technically, I was, but he was always there in practice. He was always, and he did a great job of picking up what we were doing, and he could coach it. And so, in essence, we kind of had two people, but we didn't really have somebody designated just a corner. Now, we have had that in Texas, where we had some large staffs. We would have a corners coach, and we'd have a safeties coach. And that's pretty good, you know. But we didn't have that number of coaches. So that's how we played it. But what do you coach?
Linebackers.
All right. I kind of figured that. I don't know why. It looked like you might knock somebody out.
Coach, on your two back, what would you do to unbalance? I'm getting, and I want to talk about DBs
Okay.
and stuff, but I'm curious about all
No, that's good.
Coach, I hope you don't have plans for the next 24 hours.
Hey,
This dude's gonna be all over me.
You don't know how much I love this. I mean, if we weren't doing this, I told him, he asked me about my schedule. I said, well, my schedule is usually Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock. I watch Judge Judy, you know. So that's my schedule, all right. You know, I'm worthless. I'm not doing anything, but I love this. I could do this every day, you know. But anyway.
We're looking for a corners coach.
Hey, all right. LaRossi told me, he sent me a text or a email. I get those mixed up. I'm not up there in the technology department. But he said, well, Coach, he said, I'm the secondary coach. I said, gosh almighty, what's the matter with Coach Ocampo? Is he going totally crazy? Nuts. I said, no, that's good. I said, hey, as soon as you get back from your world tour, I said, come back. And I said, you come to Lubbock, Texas, I got 2 bedrooms that are empty, you spend the night with me, and we'll go from dawn to dusk, and at night, whatever. And I said, we'll make a dang good secondary coach out of you. And he wrote me, he said, Coach, that's what I want. I said, well, I know you, because that's who you are, you know. But anyway, all right, you said unbalanced.
Yeah.
And
Will it differ
you're
if it's
you're
tackle
in a
over?
town that is the king of unbalance.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, this is gonna really blow you because, let me do it this way. I'm just gonna put that up there, okay? Mayfield was one of the best teams I've ever faced that could multiple formations, unbalanced, regular, whatever. So what do you use to determine strength? Well, we call strength by tackle, an offensive tackle. All right? And now there's a real reason for this. In 2011, when we played them for the state championship right out here, they had a kid that he went to Arizona State. I mean, you know, the earth shook when, you know, and our kids said, Coach, we got to play that guy. Yeah, we got to play him. Right? You know, I mean, good, really good player. And so, let me do it this way. Here's that tackle, and this is the tight end. So they would do this, it'd be tackle, tackle, you know, some form of variation, and a whole lot of window dressing back here. So our game plan for 2 years, I mean, they, in 2010, they beat us in the quarterfinals, 21-14, and went on and won the state championship, and then the next year, we beat them here. And we used the same game plan. We were gonna call strength to this tackle. Now, if they lined up in this, we were gonna call strong. We were gonna be here, because we just fit better.
Even if the tackle was on the weak side and the
No,
tight was.
I mean, if he was in his normal spot, he was in his spot next to the tight end. If he came out in this, then we were gonna call cheat, because this was their running stuff. I mean, and they'd set a guy there, and, you know, I mean, so our whole deal was to call strength to what we call special, their special tackle. And that just comes back to hours and hours and hours of looking at tape, looking at film, looking at huddle now, whatever, you know. And, you know, you say, well, we can't declare it to the tight end. We can't even declare it to multiple receivers, because, I mean, they were so multiple, you know. So we said, we gotta have something simple. We gotta have something that we're gonna be sound, but yet we're gonna be able to line up and not be out there, because we shift everybody. So, or, you know, we flip everybody. So we said, we need something that immediately, when they break that huddle, we know where we're going. Now, we know where we're going, but we might not know until they nearly get to the line. Old LaRossi would know whether we're gonna line up in strong or cheat. Their tendency was in this formation with a, you know, normal tight end tackle alignment, their tendency was they were gonna either throw the ball or they were gonna run something, you know, not power football, not come after you and get after, you know. But when they come tackle, what are you gonna do? You're fixing to, we're gonna check their butt out right there. So, and we wanted cheap because they'd line up, you know, these three like a wing, but then they'd still have somebody here, you know, or whatever their deal was. And so we were not gonna roll that way. So that was our way to solid up on that kind of front. And, run-wise, with exception of one play where one of those corners, just missed the tackle, looked like me tackling, and maybe that's where he gets it, but, and this guy dances down the sideline and he pops one for about 35 yards and scored. But other than that, the run